August 8, 2019, which is a Thursday. Around 11 p.m., my mother mentioned about me going to be 60 and 70 years old when the topic was about financial aid and how I'm not receiving any proper assistance for financial aid for the LaGuardia Community College that I'm in because TAP, the tuition, mentioned about verification, and I recall me and my mother and also sister went to the financial aid office, and the financial aid office had advised us to go to a room to see a lady in the computer lab that can actually help me with my tap make make me understand what is happening with my tap. And the lady mentioned that there's nothing wrong and everything should be going through. But I keep receiving emails from my college stating that there's something missing and I have to get it done. And it's also mentioning that I had to get it done before the deadline. So I was going over with my mom. What should I do? Because she was there with me. I don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, my mom started talking about 30s, 40s, 60s, and 70s, about me being in my 30s. And I'm like, what is, she's going, already. She's derailing the conversation, the topic of the conversation. She's not cooperating with the topic of the conversation. I questioned my mother of what's her point, questioning my upcoming age. Then she mentioned that I must feel guilty or worried about my upcoming ages. When I informed my mother about what the topic was, she then mentioned that she thought that I said that I'm not going to college no more, and I never said anything about that. How is it that I'm talking about financial aid and college and tuition, the whole tuition program for TAP, so I can get funds coming in for my classes? And she's talking about my upcoming ages. She just mentioned 30s. She said it very loud, as if she's disrespecting me as a human being, that I'm not supposed to have any saying because I don't have any income. The way she's talking to me, because she's frustrated that she's working and she's not making enough money to actually move out the shelter. So she's disrespecting me as a human being. It builds up the frustration when she's going to work. She's not getting the income that she's supposed to be getting as an LPN nurse because she's associating herself with an agency, and she's a visitor nurse. And the multi-agent quantum AI computer is using her frustration out on me to actually bait her to say these phrases to me so she can make me feel bad about the situation that I'm in, and especially the upcoming ages. And that's when she just mentioned it out of nowhere. 30s, 40s, 60s, 70s, and cutting her sentence midway, saying that I will acknowledge what she said to me later on during my upcoming ages. Just like Mr. Jacob Humphreys, the employment specialist for the shelter. He also mentioned about that I'm gonna acknowledge what he had said because of my email having Super Dash Royal on it, and that people within the profession wouldn't respect me. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not even I never even graduated college yet. I'm not even in the work program. I'm not even a psych, or you could say neuroscientist yet. And they may make me create just an email, or you can say ask me for my first name and my last name, and they may have a custom made email where it creates a custom made, account that custom made, or you can say create your own, that creates the email for you rather than you creating the email. As like LaGuardia Community College, the LaGuardia Community College had created a custom made email. That's their email provider, as how I stated in the other previous videos. It's their it's their email provider. So why even say that to me at this time? I'm just using it at this time, just because I keep my emails all organized. I make sure there's no spam. I make sure that all the emails go all the way from 2012 and 9. That's how I had my email for such a long time. And he said you can create an email, to make me look illogical. And this is what the artificial intelligence always do to me since I was a kid. It would make people advise me to not do certain things just to make me look silly, not to actually support me as a human being, just to make me look silly or make me look like I do not know what I'm doing. And it's been doing this for such a long time, since I started elementary school, 1998. It's been doing it. And I recall Auntie Denise back in 2014 when me and my mom and sister was living with her daughter and her, and also her son. He was living in an apartment, and Auntie Denise was in the kitchen, and she came to the living room, and she mentioned out loud, not even talking to me or my mom or my sister or no one. She just talking to herself that I'm gonna be 30. No female or job will want me because I would be too old. And for the past couple of days, hold on. I noticed that the way my mom talks is irrational. My mom was mentioning to me about being 27. She said, "You're 27 years old. You could go to the dentist." And I said, "I'm not even 27 years old." What she's talking about? That's months later on. I'll be 27 years old. And she did the same thing to me when I was during October 2018. She said, "You're 26 years old." She would state my age, as if she's there at that time, an event, when I turned 18 years old. I mean, when I turned 26 years old, sorry. And she always keep being fixated on me being too old. And she's gonna say, by the time you come out of college, you're gonna be too old. You're gonna be too old. What are you doing? What are you gonna do, huh? You're gonna be too old. She's intimidating me. She keeps intimidating me, registering fear to make me not knowledgeable on what I should be doing. Make me feel out of place and make me feel, you could say, awkward. Put me in an awkward situation, as saying that I'm just wasting my time and I shouldn't be, going to college. The way she phrased it, and she does it over and over. So this is persuasion. This is where she's persuading me to actually think to myself. She wants me to convince myself that I'm too old, and this has been going on since I was, hold on. This started after I left the granny house, so it started when I was 18. Think about it. 18 years old, yeah, that's when it started with the whole Aunt B, August 27. Now that I think about it, August 27, 2011 is when this whole me being too old started, or me being an adult. This is when it started, especially during May 5th, 2012, when my father, girlfriend, family had all of a sudden confront me. I'm a decent person, right? And I don't even know these people. I don't even know their names. They don't even know my names. But they already had a conversation with my father and my so-called mother-in-law, but she's not my mother-in-law, Regina, about the way I behave. And I'm a civilized person because I go to school all day, take an hour of transportation to get back to their so-called house, and I come sit down. I come in there peacefully, and I sit down and I do my homework, and I use the computer, and I do my online homework assignments, and I'm being tortured by two intoxicated people, telling me that I don't, telling me something about myself, and I really talk to them. I recall that Regina's daughter mentioned about me being 19 years old. I'm like, I never told her my age, and she said that when she was 19 years old, she had her own place, and I'm a high school student, and I have a whole bunch of regents and finals. There's no way I can actually go to work to have an income of my own when I'm in high school and I have all these regents. I'm a senior in high school, and this is and that's the and when you're a senior in high school, you have to actually concentrate on all your finals and your regents and your homework. There's no time to actually have an income, and they're pressuring me. And they also took away my laptop. And when I think about how my mother was talking to me, I said to myself, that's not my mother mind. It's building up frustration. The AI made sure she was frustrated with herself, so it can actually desync her in her intended mind, so it can use the management mentality, so she can talk that way about me, because the artificial intelligence consider me as a threat, and it's telling me how it's gonna manage me. Personally. And not only that, the artificial intelligence knows that I'm writing down notes on how my mother behaved and how I think. I write down notes, and it acknowledges my notes, because it's also wording in my dreams that it acknowledges my notes, and making my mom say several phrases from my notes too. It acknowledges it. So there's another time I recall my father during December 2011, and Regina, they took me over. She took me over to her family house. Well, actually her brother's house, and I recall one of the kids. As soon as I was going outside to get inside the car, one of the kids mentioned, "Look at that kid," and then the my father girlfriend. My girlfriend brother has a wife, and she shouted out loud, "He's not no kid. He's a big grown ass man." And I'm like, why is it everybody talking this way towards me? What did I ever do to them? They're so angry about my age, and they're so angry about how I'm in this situation where I'm in high school and I don't have an income. They just keep personally attacking me. 19 is actually still like as a teenager when you think about it. And they're intimidating me, making me feel very uncomfortable about myself being this age. They compare me with other people, that's why. And they don't know how their situation they don't know who's managing their situation. This is when I started realizing that someone is actually managing them, and they don't know the intention of what they're doing, and someone knows the intention of what they're doing better than the person itself. I start grasping the patterns because it keeps happening to me. My aunt mentioned I'm gonna be 30 and I'm not gonna have no female, so this is what it does to me. They didn't say too old. I recall back in middle school, a girl had approached me at lunch, and she mentioned what's my age, and I told her I was 14 years old. And then my friend Jacob, who's Hispanic, this is 707. I was in class 707. He mentioned, why would you tell her? Why would you tell your age for? And after I told her my age, she just was disgusted. I know it's 14. It's on. Now it's 15 minutes. After I told her my age, that I was 14 years old, she was disgusted. I was 14 years old, and I was in 7th grade because I got left back 2 times by the artificial intelligence. Everything it does is to make me feel intimidated or make me feel that I'm too old. They keep mentioning that I'm too old. When I was a kid, and my mom picked up me and my sister from the babysitter, she always gave me the same phrase each and every single day, the same persuasion that the artificial intelligence does to me. How everybody is wondering when your son is getting out of school, and everybody is ahead of you. It's like, what is this? What is happening here? You should be ashamed of yourself. Look at Dennis. She would always compare me with the babysitter's son, and also the babysitter kids who she was watching, Jeffrey. He doesn't even know English, and yet he gets better scores than you on English tests. And then she just makes personal attack. She's personally attacking me, and she phrased her words exactly the same way. After we got out of the building, and we're in front of the babysitter building, she gives me the same phrases over and over. It's like someone had automatically set her to say these personal remarks towards me, so I can feel intimidated. And then when I get back to the apartment, my mom's apartment, and I go to sleep during midnight morning, I would wake up and I would have all these negative thoughts. Oh, that I'm ugly. No one wants to be around me. I'm stupid. I'm gonna be living on an overhead train bridge. It shows me how my father. It shows me an actual time and event from 2012, from May 5th, 2012, and also during December 2011 and October 2011, how it allowed my father and my Regina family to gang up on me. It shows me people. That at that time in 2006 and 5, my father wasn't even around those people. My father didn't even knew that Regina even exists. Only the artificial intelligence. And I saw an image of people that I never met before. I should have wrote it down, or draw a sketch, because I always like sketching people. I should have sketched it or draw it down. I have good memorization. And they were African American females, and my father was there. And it does it again during January 2011, how it shows me and my father, and more like in Regina house. This is my father girlfriend house in the basement, and it shows how my father was arguing with me. He was intoxicated. So I'm thinking to myself, there's definitely something not right here. Or I also recall during the time when I was living in Kissimmee, Florida, in the Palm Hotel, back in 2015, I mentioned how the people talk to me online. I mean, how the people in person talk to me online. And I said that the people would mention big grown ass man, and it would be several personal attacks about my age. And then someone online acknowledged what I wrote. And I recall the artificial intelligence showing me Green Acres Mall, inside Green Acres Mall, and it's showing me store, and it changed the store logo, because it can do that. The artificial intelligence shows me how it can change the store logo. It can remap the environment, or you can say remap the building, remap the mall, and no one would remember that the AI remapped the mall. It showed me how it mentioned a logo that says big grown ass man. I'm like, so this is the one I would focus on. So I wouldn't be able to do any more videos for now. I mean, for today. So the next Saturday or Sunday I would be able to do more videos, because I won't be going outside. I'll be concentrating for the next few weeks. I'll be concentrating on how the artificial intelligence is managing me and the upcoming time and events, and also be focused on new ideas. and I'll be writing more. Okay, so this is it for this video.